Hey guys, Jimmy Vegas here, and we are in the second video of this little series. Basically, it's a devlog series to show you what's going on with this Timmy and Mousey game. Now, I want to start with a little question that I have been asked a couple of times now. I kind of did touch upon it in the last devlog that I did. Why is it called Timmy and Mousey? Well, honestly, the only real reason is because that's what the characters are called from Mixamo. So initially when I kind of started putting this together, piecing together little bits and ideas, this guy right here, Mousey, obviously, and this guy right here was Timmy. So these were the only two that I was working with because I wanted to have different character selection. And when going through Mixamo, I just came across these two and they just kind of stuck. So it's Timmy and Mousey. So what has happened since the last video? Well, I've done quite a bit, tweaked a few things, and also brought some new items in. You may have seen another recent video that I've done of one of the characters running through a snowy stage. So yeah, let's talk about that. If I go to the right place, which is here. So the principle of this is still the same as it was with the Desert Dreams level. The process of generating extra sections is all the same mechanics, it's just a different kind of theme. And one thing I did find while I was creating this is that it's actually really difficult to create a level which is just expected to be completely white. So none of this is actually white technically, although obviously some bits are. But if you had all of the materials on some of these sections as white, it just wouldn't quite look right. So I had to kind of come up with a way of making it look a little bit three-dimensional rather than flat white. And all I really did was alter the colour very slightly on a couple of different materials and apply different materials to different objects. And we can see generally that this section, snowman there, rocks, it follows the same sort of pattern as the desert level. And that was what I wanted to kind of go for with this, simply because I wanted to experiment whether it was possible to quickly and easily create new levels based on old design. And to be quite frank, it takes about the same amount of time in all honesty. So I probably could have started this whole ice level from scratch rather than use the desert as a template. So overall, it does run exactly the same as the desert level, obviously different objects in there because it's a different theme. There's 10 sections. The coding is the same to randomize the blocks. And you may have already seen it, but as we run, we have the snow effect as well. It's just a simple particle system that flows down when Unity decides it wants to actually do something. There we go. So we've got the just simple snow. It's all it is, just a particle system. Now, moving on from this, another thing you may have seen in that video, if you have indeed seen it, is the change in the stage select area. Now, what I wanted with this stage select area is the ability to control everything of what you want to appear in the main playable levels. So although at the moment this is just the stage select, I do have the intention of kind of bringing this into another dimension and having this as character select. So, for example, we played the stage for Desert Dreams, and then it comes down to the character, and you select characters. I'll touch on characters in just a second, because that's something else I've been working on. And I'm going to go to this little ice block here. So the idea is these little ice blocks are just independent of each other, or rather desert block, ice block, are all independent of each other. And the next one along is going to be probably maybe a forest block. I've kind of planned out the levels I want to design, but yeah. So you've got that one and that one, and the whole idea of this level is just simply you can click the mouse buttons, and all they are just simple buttons with a bit of code attached, and all it does is just move the camera along. So if I go to the scene and pull that scene view out, we should be able to see the camera move along. Let me just select the camera so we can see it there. You can see all it's done is just move the camera back and forth. And at the same time as doing that, it recalibrates what this button does, what this button does, and what this button does. So it knows where the camera is and just changes what those buttons do accordingly. It's a real simple script. A couple of things on that topic of real simple scripts is most people seem to think that this kind of thing is rather difficult. But what I say to those people is it really isn't. If you sit and think about what you want to do with your code, how you want it to be executed, methodically, write it down, and then you can work with that. Honestly, it really is not difficult. If you're slow and precise with your code, you'll be able to get it in no time. So a lot of this isn't difficult coding at all. So I did say about characters, and you may have noticed over the videos I have issued out of this, there are different characters. The latest one, his name is Doozy, and again, that is just because what he's called on Mixamo. There's no other crazy reason or anything like that. And what I wanted to do is have these characters that you can unlock. I'll get on to unlocking in just a moment. These characters that you can unlock have different abilities. So for example, these two are just the standard characters and they're what you start with, but you can unlock Doozy right here, and his ability is he's able to move from side to side a bit quicker than anybody else. So on that whole premise, the main menu that we have here has evolved quite considerably. I now have the store in there and some achievements. I'm not going to show you what the achievements are, but I'll give you a quick glimpse of them because they're not finalized, but I want them to kind of be a little bit secret-ish until this game has really been developed a bit more than what it is now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out there so we can see it full screen. I'm going to press play and explain a little bit more. So as we start this, we can see that we have these three dancing. And what I want to happen is when you initially start the game, you have Timmy and Mousey just there dancing. When you're in the store and unlock further characters, these ones here, they dance on the main page as well. So for example, we have already unlocked Doozy. None of this works at the moment, but it is something that I'm going to work on. So let's say we've just bought Doozy. He'll be there dancing now. So everything in this is going to work. Now you may have noticed a couple of things here about get the source code, unlock everything. I am not a big fan of microtransactions, but I do feel that some mobile games, for example, they are not necessary, but they really do benefit games a lot. But for something like a PC game like this, microtransactions aren't really something I agree with. Same with games on console. So just to be clear on what I mean by all of this, I don't agree with microtransactions on PC or console gaming. I do agree with them to an extent on mobile gaming, just because they possibly enhance the experience in ways that a console game otherwise wouldn't. I might talk about that a little bit more at some point, but obviously everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Overall, I just think that kind of culture in video games is going the wrong way, but that's a topic for another day. So ultimately what I would like to do is give out the source code of this entire game so people can use it as a base. Whether I end up doing that or not, I don't actually know. It's just a thought. If I do, it'll probably be on somewhere like itch.io for a small price that you can download the code and make your own game, modify the game, do whatever you want with it. Because then theoretically, once you've purchased it, it is your code, it is your game, you do what you want with it. But like I say, whether I do that, I don't actually quite know. So that's where I want to go with everything, but it's going to be a decision much in the future. Now you may have noticed on that store page, we had a little animation of Doozy doing that whole, kind of fisticuffs thing, and we had Claire, the other character, kind of looking around. Those are live rendering cameras, and if I zoom out and go down, all it is just these three right here. So if I press play and go back to scene, we can see that's all those cameras are doing, and it doesn't really require many resources at all. It's just a kind of nice, efficient way of keeping track and modifying things and just keeping things real time. So it's just a little something I wanted to try out. And the same applies for the level down here, because that was animated as well. Not sure whether you may have noticed that. So finally, I'm going to show you some of those achievements. If I can remember where they are. Canvas. And they are in the achievement container. And let's turn that on. And you can see here, that the whole thing, all of this is encompassed in one single scene, because I kind of wanted everything to flow nicely. So you don't go to a separate scene to see the achievements, you don't go to a separate scene to see the store or anything like that. It all stays in one place. And there's a quick glimpse at the achievements. I think there's probably going to be about 24 of them. Again, I'm not 100% sure. It just depends how the development of this game goes. I would like to add more, but I don't want to go too far with it. Some people don't like achievements, some people do. Some people think they add more to the game, some people don't. I am under the impression that, yes, I think they do add a little bit more to the game, because they make you do things that you otherwise wouldn't necessarily do in a game or try to achieve. Some people consider that to make the game last longer artificially. That may be true in some instances, but again, I think it's down to opinion. So what am I going to do between now and the next devlog? Honestly, I'm not 100% sure. I do think I need to expand a little bit more with the levels. So I'm probably going to start making the next stage or level or whatever I'm going to call it. Probably stage, I think. And I'm also going to fully sort out all my characters. I do have some placeholders here for the others, so I'll work on them. And I may finally implement the bonus game. I'm not going to talk about the bonus game in this devlog because the technicality of it may change. So I do have a little idea. Whether it remains that idea, I'll let you know in the next devlog. So, guys, I know I've been babbling on for a good 10, 12 minutes now. And I can only apologise if you find me boring. But for those of you who are looking forward to what this is, there is another version now playable of this particular build for any patrons and any YouTube members that I have on my channel. So if you are part of that, you can play the early version of this. I think I've given it 0.3b. That's the version, because I'm making incremental builds just so as I can keep track of what I've done. So yeah, if you're on there, you'll be able to play this. If not now, then probably in the first week of February, because I'm on the 26th of 26th of January now. So yeah, guys, I really appreciate you watching. And if you've learned something, brilliant. If you want to know anything else, let me know in the comments. And I'll probably see you around in the next tutorial, asset review, video, devlog, whatever. I'll see you around the next video. Thanks very much for watching, guys.